Nicole, welcome back. So grateful to have you here for our third C2 conversation where we explore community and connection through sound. Before we get started, let me first give you all a little more insight into the wisdom of Nicole Gibbs. As an EEG technologist and creator of our C2 I Am My Strongest Self sound healing collection, Nicole bridges science and soul in the most grounded, accessible way. Over the past two conversations, we've explored the powerful ways sound can support our nervous system, helping us find calm, clarity, and alignment. Today, we're expanding that conversation into one of the deepest human needs we have: connection. We believe community is a vital part of thriving. It's not just about being surrounded by people, it's about feeling seen and heard, supported and understood. So before we begin, I invite you to reflect. When was there a moment in your life where you felt truly connected to another person, to a community, or even to yourself? What did that feel like in your body? Let's take 60 seconds to feel into that thought. I'll repeat it. When was there a moment in your life where you felt truly connected to another person, to a community, or even to yourself? What did that feel like in your body? And feeling into that thought is important because connection is more than just an emotional experience. It's something our nervous system recognizes. It's something that can restore us, regulate us, and remind us that we're not meant to thrive alone. And so today, Nicole will help us explore that science behind connection and how community can become part of our path to our strongest self. So again, welcome, Nicole. I'm excited to have you here on week 38.
Thank you.
Um,
Exciting time.
yeah. So let's begin with this idea of community connection. But please, anyone on the line is welcome to unmute and ask a question. I'll do my best to keep us on track for the next 20 minutes or so. We often think of connection as something we experience emotionally, but it's really something our bodies recognize. So I'd love to open here with this question to you, Nicole. When we talk about community and connection as a component of thriving, what is really happening in the brain and nervous system when we feel truly connected to something or even another person?
Yeah, so great question. When we experience a genuine connection, whether that is a person, a community, a place, or a thing, the brain interprets that connection as safety.
Mm,
Safety is equivalent with our nervous system regulating. When we feel connected, it's the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more active, our rest and digest. The stress hormones such as cortisol, they tend to decrease as well. There's a lot going on in the mind and body, honestly, when we're connected. Oxytocin is released, and the most important, the heart rate and breathing become more coherent and regulated. Just simply
mm,
connecting with another person, the activity in your brain involved in social bonding and emotional regulation increases. Like your brain literally is synchronizing waves with another person when you connect. The connection tells the nervous system you're not alone, but you're safe enough to relax.
mm.
So just connecting there's a lot going on in the body, a lot of chemicals being released, a lot of activation to release. And yeah, it's actually amazing what happens when we connect.
And that's kind of the quote unquote, humans are wired for connection. Like that's just what you explained, is this chemical
Mhm.
transformation, really, from a neuroscience perspective, right?
Right. Yeah, so being wired for connection, there's several brain systems that are designed specifically for social interaction.
Hmm.
Like we have our mirror neuron networks is what they're called. And we also have the social cognition networks in our brain. We have emotional regulation circuits. We have attachment systems. There is so many systems and neurons firing in the brain that are literally wired for connection. So our brain constantly is monitoring people's facial expressions, the tones of their voice, body language, eye contact, all these things. And the nervous system is in the background constantly asking, am I safe? Do I belong? Am I accepted? Can I trust this person? And so being wired for connection, it is literally developed through relationships. So even thinking back to an infant, their nervous system, you're learning through co-regulation with the mother or caregivers. Throughout your life, your relationships continue shaping emotional resilience and stress responses, just simply connecting and watching. We've learned that as an infant, and it's really through relationships. So we are wired for connection.
Wow. And then that sort of leads what we've been talking about, the idea, or what you've been mentioning, is feeling safe, seen, and supported within relationships really influences our nervous system. And that's really important during times of stress, right? And uncertainty, especially.
Yes, exactly. One of the most powerful regulators of the nervous system is another regulated nervous system. So seeing another person, when we feel seen or supported, the amygdala in the brain, it's like our threat detector. It becomes less reactive. The prefrontal cortex gains greater control over the emotional responses. Your stress hormone, like we said, it declines, and your heart rate often improves with your breathing slowing. Your heart and brain connect in this coherence, really feeling safe and supported is really a process we call co-regulation. And before we can even self-regulate, we often need that co-regulation, almost like a permission slip, if you will. So your examples are like a friend listening without judgment, like we were saying, or maybe a partner offering reassurance, sitting quietly with someone that feels calm and grounded. That instant connection just allows your body to say, I can do this too. Like I'm allowed to do that too. Sharing your breath and eye contact, or anything as simple as that. That's why in like group meditations or chanting or drum circles or communal singing or things like that, it often feels profound, like you don't have to carry this alone kind of feeling.
Right.
And that, yes, and that alone reduces all the psychological stress. So it really is, you don't have to do this alone. When you co-regulate, when you see another person going through that, another regulated nervous system, you calm as well. Because we are literally mirrors, walking mirrors. So you see that, you feel that.
And like you just said, like a shared experience through sound, whether it's, like you said, chanting, meditation, music, even conversation or breath, right? They create a deeper sense of connection in the body. And then I don't know if I'm thinking about this right, but I'm assuming when you created RC2 sound healing specifically for connection and community, were all those elements you describe, were they part of sort of the creation of those sounds, if you will?
Yes, exactly. The collection in itself is, each frequency is designed to allow different things to present themselves, because each thing is a vibration or a frequency. So by allowing the music, we can match that frequency and allow our deeper sense of connection, or allowing the regulation of our nervous system. So yes, exactly.
So if I'm thinking about this right, if you put on the connection community sound healing, you're almost in, even if you're by yourself, you're actually being raised in a shared experience, because that's how it's been. That's pretty cool. I never really thought
You're
about it
matching.
Yeah.
Exactly. You end up matching it because your brain, it's called it's like brain entrainment. In neuroscience, it really is rhythms becoming synchronized. It's the same thing from people connecting to music. It's a synchronization when two things are connected. So even people walking in step together, or breathing at similar rates, you automatically will start doing that. If you're walking side by side, that entrainment in your brain, we just get into those rhythms together. We match that frequency. If there's a tone or a beat or something like that, we naturally get in tune, if you will.
Mm.
So our breathing, we start breathing at similar rates. Our heart rhythms become more coherent and matched. And the brainwave synchronization is actually shared. We've seen on EEG, your brainwaves will start to match the same rhythms as another person doing the same thing. It's
Wow.
actually really beautiful. So I found that musicians playing together and
Right.
people engaged in like meaningful conversations, like we're saying, that it can show this temporary synchronization of EEG brain activity of firing in our
Wow.
brains. So yeah, it's amazing. Sound particularly is one of the most powerful, because rhythm is honestly the oldest communication in human
Uh-huh.
biology. So when groups sing together, drum together, chant, things like that, we have multiple systems synchronizing our breath, our heart, movement, attention even. And so yeah, it's just a shared, that's unity, that's our collective experience. It doesn't mean we all have identical waves, but rather we're two rhythms beginning to like coordinate and sync into that frequency.
And so like
I hope that
someone,
makes sense.
yeah, no, it's really beautiful. And I never really thought about it until literally this second talking with you,
Yay. I love
that
that.
I know it's sort of like, wow. So my thought is someone who might be feeling really alone could
Mm.
literally put on this connection community sound healing for whatever amount of time they have, and be be lifted in a way where, scientifically their body, internally can feel connection.
Exactly. Yes,
Oh,
that frequency allows your body to match that frequency. And each frequency, is linked to our chakras too. So the specific things, frequencies, it really is releasing stored trauma and things
yeah,
that have just, the frequency allows that activation or releasing or whatever
relief,
that is. Because
right?
that,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's what's happening.
And it's interesting. I've always sort of been fundamentally drawn to the stillness and surrender, kind of as a foundation. But as I'm hearing you, I mean, in the world that we live in, like, it can feel so jumbled. It can feel, especially if you listen to anything that's on, current events or, whatever, it feels very you feel very disassociated and unable to like, feel connected. And my goodness, like, why not just tune that out and tune this on in the background,
Yes, I love that. It's as simple as that. Which
Yeah.
frequency are you turning into? And
Yeah.
that itself equivalates to, disease, ailments. It's
Right.
literally a frequency being held. The
Right.
body came here to heal. Like we are
Right.
master
Yeah.
alchemizing healers, and we forget that it's literally all frequency. It's all pattern. And our words that we speak to ourselves is frequency and pattern as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Exactly. We don't need to be in that frequency anymore. We can raise our frequency up and start regulating our nervous system simply by doing that.
Wow. I do see that I have another question. I don't know if anyone wants to jump in. But
I actually had a question, Christine, if you don't
yeah,
mind. This is
of
Jen.
course. Of course.
Hey, so I'm not totally sure how to ask this. So coming from the energetic standpoint, frequency of like in your home. So in my case, like I have lived in a dysregulated nervous system basically my whole life. So like since 3 years old. And I'm getting to the better side of that, of regulation right now. So but as far as my home goes and the people and animals, like I have been able to sense when I'm really affecting somebody else, but can't always like change that. Like I'm working, obviously it's getting so much better, but I'm aware of the effects with previous animals that I had. I could see that in them. Obviously with Maggie that I have now, like I can see that in her at times when, things are not great with me. obviously in my loved ones, so my question is, how do I change that frequency in my home, or is there anything that I can do different while I'm still working through this to make that better, I guess, so I'm not affecting the loved ones, you know what I mean, and still trying to understand their boundaries and mine. It's a very good question.
Mhm.
Does it
No,
make
honestly,
sense?
of course it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
the intention in itself, that frequency of your intention wanting to do that it's carrying what you need already. So that intention of wanting to allow that space to set the boundaries, or to allow everyone there, so we don't get these conjumbled frequencies hitting each other kind of thing. Honestly, there's several things you can do with just even putting on a sound frequency in the background of your day, maybe setting the tone different for you to just get in a different mind space, as well as the other thing I was going to think is like smudging or saging or things like that, and just energy moving in general. And then just setting the tone for new energy to come in, whether that's for you or for somebody else. But really, it's the intention carries all that power, so that you're already on the right track with that. I don't know if that answers your question, but those are a couple examples.
No, actually very helpful, because those are things that I have been implementing more often now, but I think it's because I am in a better space, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to catch myself when I'm in negative places to then go in and do that. It's just unfortunate that it's more on my mind when I'm in those positive places, so okay.
You already know all the answers.
Yeah.
You already got it.
Thank you.
And Jen, the magic of that was my last question was, what does meaningful connection require? And you just answered it. It's so great. Like, we're also connected digitally, but we need that awareness, Jen. And thank you for bringing that up, to feel that, to rise. So thank you. You totally were right in sync, sister. So those were my questions, and I just wanted to take a brief moment to say thank you to Nicole Gibbs for sharing her talent and insight with us today. Please head over to her site at awakeningmassmeditations.com. There's so much to learn from her. She's a trusted source for real science-based sound healings. You can find that link on our Substack too, and we tag her in our social media posts. And every week we feature her free C2 sound healing collection. So you guys can just download those. You can just search for any of the 6 thriving principles on Substack, and you can download it or listen to it immediately right there.